Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faiz Najmi bin Muhammad Nizam. I'm from class AS121 1A, and today I'm gonna talk about synthetic food. So, first of all, we start with the abstract. Food is essential to provide energy for human cellular metabolism, and it is usually made from plants or animals. Besides plants and animals, other important food sources are made by microorganisms, typically product of fermentation. And nowadays, because of the increasing environmental pollution, climate change, and population growth, it's becoming challenging to keep the food supply safe, nutritious, and sustainable. Importantly, the development of the synthetic field enable to engineer cells that can be used in food manufacturing. And this video, I will explain about the definition of synthetic food and the pros and cons of synthetic food. So we go to the introduction. Basically, food is essential to the human survival, and with the development of society and technology. Not only food become a guaranteed supply, but also food is being demanded for its nutrition and health. The increasing environmental pollution and world population also causes new processes to meet the higher demand while maintaining food safety, nutritional value, and sustainability. Synthetic food merges biological research and engineering concept. Researchers can design and build new biomolecular components and use this to reprogram organisms. Synthetic food in the food industry can help to solve unsustainability problems associated to traditional food technology and improve of food production by using programmed cell factories. Next, we go to the definition of synthetic food. What is synthetic food? Synthetic food is created from substances that are chemically synthesized into edible products, also defined as food substance or products that are produced artificially rather than through natural processes. Synthetic food imitate the characteristics of natural foods, including appearance, texture, and taste. Synthetic food manufactured under controlled laboratory conditions, and synthetic food basically called artificial food. Then we go to how are synthetic food are actually made. The production of synthetic food relies on identifying the genetic sequences of food items that provide its characteristics. The sequence of interest is then reproduced in vitro and inserted into yeast or bacterium components, which replicate the target proteins. Meanwhile, meat is produced slightly different. It relies on the multiplication of animal stem cells, which can differentiate into other cell types and eventually replicating to form artificial meat tissues, which is then became synthetic meat, or it's called meat analog. So these are some of the examples of synthetic food. Meat analog, as I told earlier. Then we got animal-free milk. Animal-free milk is made of casein proteins using the engineered E. coli or yeast. It doesn't involve any animals, so it's called animal-free milk. Then meat analog. Many analogs are soy-based, for example, tofu, tempeh, or gluten-based. But now may also be made from pea protein. Um, there are some more examples of synthetic food that we got, such as vegan cheese that doesn't involve animals. We got shrimp made from algae and many others. Next, we go to findings. Technology is now commonly used in synthetic food. Computational tools and databases can guide the precise pathway engineering approach. Besides, expression elements including promoters, ribosome binding sites, or as called RBS, and protein degradation tags have been identified and designed to fine-tune the expression level of target genes. Furthermore, protein engineering strategies were developed to improve the properties of the key enzyme in the pathway. Recently, machine learning technology has been introduced into the field of achieving predictive engineering and cell factories optimization, and undoubtedly, these technologies will continue to promote the transformation and revolution of the food industry, which is the following sections. Synthetic-based food will be improving the food production. With the use of synthetic-based food, the traditional agriculture and husbandry dependent foods production system will be changed and reformed, which will improve land use efficiency, save water resources, and avoid the use of pesticides and fertilizers. In addition, the synthetic biology-based food manufacturing system is less affected by uncontrollable environmental factors and is easier to carry out according to high quality standards. By constructing food-based cell factory, foods such as meat analogs, animal-free bioengineered milk, and sugar substitutes can be produced from fully renewable resources. Next, we go to the discussion. So, what are the advantages of synthetic food? Firstly, synthetic food, the production are more efficient than organic food. It is because synthetic food is made in the lab, so the cells were already there, and the process doesn't take too long. Unlike organic food, for example, we have to wait up to 2 years for the cow to grow before we can slaughter them, and it takes about 70 to 80 days for a plant such as carrot to grow before we can eat them. So yeah, the synthetic food production are more efficient than next. Synthetic food give more choices to people. Since there are a lot of people that eat meat, such as vegans and Hindus, they can actually taste synthetic food such as meat analog, since they aren't actually meat, but it tastes like meat and has the texture of meat. Then synthetic food is sustainable to the environment. It is an appealing innovation with highly uncertain potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and enable more sustainable use of natural resources. Lastly, synthetic food is known for last longer since it's added a lot of preservative for it to stay longer. Next, synthetic food also has its own disadvantages. One of them is it may causes allergies to some of the people since they added some vitamins, some extra vitamins and mineral into it. Next, artificial products may actually contain too much of vitamin and mineral. It may causes overdosing on certain nutrients, especially if you routinely eating the same. Maintaining a high enough rate of cell division is one of the disadvantage. To find a cost-efficient culture medium with good properties is another. Synthetic meat still needs a raw material. So far, the culture medium has been bovine serum, a byproduct from the livestock industry. In order to replace it, another source of nutrition would be necessary. Lastly, people are not fully convinced in synthetic food. Some of the people doesn't actually is actually skeptical in synthetic food because it's made up from a lab and they don't actually believe what everything happened in the next. Synthetic food versus natural food, which one is better? So, as you probably know, synthetic food extract genetics and cells from animals, while natural food is made from plants and animals. And while synthetic food may contain too much mineral and vitamins, natural food has its own natural nutrients. Synthetic food that sadly doesn't have its natural nutrients, but it has its own mineral and vitamins. While synthetic food lasts longer, but natural food does not last long. In my opinion, synthetic food might come in handy in the future since it is sustainable to the environment. It can produce much more since it only produced in a lab and doesn't have to wait many days to produce it, and the process is not as long as natural food. And then we can go to the recommendation. First, it can increase the global food production. Since many of us want to eat meat, synthetic food brings an opportunity to achieve this, and at the same time, it can reduce the resource use and environmental issues associated with meat production. The key is to find a shorter path of nutrient conversion, the path traditionally taken from grassland to steak. Then we should improve food quality and nutrients, so it can convince more people to eat and convince them that it is safe to eat. And these are the references that I used in my research, and that's all from me today. Thank you for watching.